Okay guys, welcome to this little free sample for you. The purpose of this sample is to just show you how quick and easily you can make dramatic effects to photographs in a basic editing program like Photoshop Elements 6. You don't need Adobe Photoshop Elements CS, you don't need the fancy all singing, all dancing to make dramatic effects. And I'm going to show you with a couple of basic tools how we can change this pretty good wedding picture into one that makes it a bit more moody and dramatic. Okay, first of all, I took the shot with the pipe in mind. I knew the location when I went to do the photo. It was shot, it's about an 11 meg image out of camera. So we open it up in Photoshop, and the first thing I want to do is duplicate the layers. So if we just click and drag that up, straight away you can see we've got a new layer there. The reason I do that is let's keep the background layer intact so we can see what we're doing, what we've done, and if we ever want to change it we can revert straight back to that one. Okay, so first of all I want to tidy up this image or crop it. Now cropping, if you go your crop tool, I'm just going to leave this one on no restriction because I'm not working to any specific size, but what we do is use the crop tool to eliminate things that we don't want in the background and put the emphasis more on the group in this particular shot. Now I'm going to end up with a shot something like that. First of all, we'll come out of that and we'll go into the stamp tool. Now what I want to do is erase this bit of rubbish on the floor. We've got a big grid there, so we're going to do that in the stamp tool. And the reason I'm stamping first and rather than cropping is because I need to use some of this grass area to crop out the rubbish that's in there. Okay, so what we do is first of all with the stamp tool just select, I'm going to work and get rid of this rubbish, so we come over here. Now if you press ALT and then click, that'll define your sample area. So when you click over the rubbish, that's going to remove anything that you don't want in there. So ALT, click, and we just simply brush away the things that we don't want. It's important as well not to always sample from the same spot. If you sample, don't press the Windows button, press the Alt key, Jeff. Okay. If you sample from the same area, you get what's known as a repetitive pattern, and it doesn't look good. It spoils the picture, spoils the work that you're going into, and it leaves it looking as if you have removed parts of the picture, or it looks like something's not natural with the picture. So sample from different areas, keeping in mind the kind of tones that we're looking to create and the patterns we're trying to keep. Now that's the first bit cropped out of the way. Let's just put these layers over there for a minute. Okay, so that's the ground tidied up. Next one we're going to do is the crop. So we just come in there and I just want to eliminate anything that's unnecessary in this shot. There's a little bit too much sky in there. You know, we can bring it in a little bit closer to the lads there. Eliminate some of this foreground, and I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to crop that one in. Right, at this point now, best thing to do is save, or save it as. That way, if anything happens to your system, you know, if it goes down, we'll just call this edit one. Save it as a PSD file as well. I think that's important too. If you're working in PSD, you don't lose any information when you're multiply saving the same file. If you do it in a JPEG, you are, although you've got a smaller file, you are losing information when you do that in a JPEG. So keep it on Photoshop file until you're happy with the final file. Then you can, you know, archive that into a JPEG. Right, so there's the shot. Let's see what we've got. Right, that's okay, I think, as it is now. But we want to tone that into black and white. So I find the best way to do this is make sure your colour palette over there is on black and white. If it's not, click the little boxes in the corner, that'll automatically set it to black and white. Then go on to your background copy layer, click on your adjustment layer tool there, and we want to come down and we want to put a gradient map. Click on that one. It'll automatically set your foreground and background colours to map the whole image. Instead of it being colour, it now maps it from black to white and all the shades in between. So that's the quickest way to get it into a black and white, and it's quite dramatic and effective. If you want to adjust the tones on that, come back onto your background copy, adjustment layer, now come down to your levels and click on that. Now what we've done there, as you can see, we've created a levels layer underneath the gradient map but above the background copy, so it's only going to affect anything that is on that is below this layer. So by adjusting the image, you'll see it's still going to keep it in black and white, but it's not going to affect the tone. It's not going to affect the actual black and white, so it's not going to affect the gradient map. So I just want to bring up their mid-tones a little bit, bring in them shadows, make it nice and punchy. Highlights, let's just have a play. With the levels as well, don't be afraid, pull it right up, take it to the extreme, see what you think. It's better to see how far you can go and then pull it backwards so you can be happy with the results and when you get the desired effect. And for me, yeah, I'm happy with that now. That's a good effect. That's good tone black and white. Now I want to, let's just see what we've got there. Not lost any detail in the sky. I want to just darken that sky up a little bit. So I'm going to come in and use my burn tool, which is located, if you click and hold on there, you'll see your burn tool appear. Right, we're now in burn tool mode. Now up here we want to do that to highlights and put your exposure. I'm going to put it down to about 14-15% there. Make your brush a bit bigger. For this one I'm taking it up to 200, and you just simply slide, click and slide it across like so, and that will gradually, very gradually, burn in some dark shading into the sky. And it's only subtle, and we only want it subtle as well. Just leaves it so it's not empty. Right, for me, just a little bit more on the edges. I want the edges darker. Always leave the edges darker and leave it coming paler when it comes towards the inside. Right, for the sky, that's enough. But what I also want to do is tone the rest of the image. So I'm going to bring this from highlights into mid-tones. I'm just going to do exactly the same, just down the sides. Just give it a couple of strokes. Back and two. And now we've got it on mid-tones. That is only going to affect the mid-tone areas of the image. It won't affect the shadows, it won't affect the highlights. So we're just slowly bringing it in. Always keep your brush overlapping the edge as well. Don't put it in there because then you're going to get a lighter part on the outside of the frame, which you don't want. You want your darkest part right to the edge of the frame. That's the way to do it. That's the way to achieve that desired effect. And also just do your corners a little bit darker. And that is basically it. If you're happy with that, I'm happy with that. I'd be happy to give that to one of my clients. I'll be happy to sell it to them. So it's a quick and easy result, and that's only taken us a few minutes. If you wanted to go a little bit further, what you could do is tone it into sepia. For this one, we just add in another adjustment layer, which is the hue and saturation. Now again, play around with this one. Sorry, we're on the wrong layer there. What you need to do is to make it visible, you need to go above your gradient map, because your gradient map is going to map it into black and white. Put your hue and saturation layer above. Just move that away so we can see we're above there. Right, and basically colorize that. And you can tone this exactly as you see fit to get your own desired effect on the sepia toning. There's no hard and fast rules to sepia. You can tone it as you want. But I think something like that, that's a reasonably subtle orangey brown tone in there. And again, I think that's a nice tone. Looks good, and it makes a difference to what we had before. So let's just step back and undo our layers.